The magic of bleisure travel in Japan? Imagine stepping off the plane in Tokyo, the hum of the airport alive with purpose. You've arrived for a work trip, and your schedule is packed: important meetings, high-stakes presentations, and back-to-back commitments that demand your full attention. The city itself mirrors your pace, fast, efficient, and full of energy. But then, as the final meeting ends and the last email is sent, a shift happens. Deadlines fade into the background, and suddenly, you're no longer just a professional on business. You're a traveler in one of the most fascinating countries on Earth. Picture yourself sipping warm sake under the glow of paper lanterns in a tucked away izakaya, or walking through Tokyo's neon-lit streets where tradition and technology meet in dazzling harmony. The next day, you leave the bustle behind. A bullet train carries you through the countryside, where endless fields meet the majesty of Mount Fuji. Soon, you're sinking into an outdoor onsen, the steam rising against the backdrop of snow-dusted peaks. The worries of work are gone, replaced by serenity and wonder. That's the true magic of bleisure travel in Japan. It's not about choosing between business and leisure. It's about weaving them together into one seamless journey. Japan invites you to do more than just attend your meetings. It invites you to live fully, to experience deeply, and to return home with stories that go beyond boardrooms and conference calls. Meet Lena, a driven marketing director who had just flown halfway across the world for a 2-day strategy session in Osaka. The meetings were intense, long hours in boardrooms, endless PowerPoint slides, and negotiations that stretched her focus thin. By the time she checked into her hotel, jet lag hit her like a wave. Her body begged for rest, but her mind wrestled with the thought of spending her only free evening alone in a sterile room. She opened the curtains and stared out at Osaka's skyline, towering buildings glowing against the night sky. Something inside her shifted, she thought. I came all this way. Do I really want to remember Japan as just conference tables and hotel walls? Scrolling through her phone for nearby recommendations, Lena stumbled upon an idea she hadn't considered before. Bleisure travel in Japan. The concept was simple, yet powerful. Blend work with leisure, even if your time is limited. With only a few hours to spare, she faced a choice: collapse into bed, or step outside and experience the city. And in that moment, she made a decision that would change the way she traveled forever. Let me make every minute count. Why Japan is ideal for bleisure. Japan feels almost designed for bleisure travel. Think about it. After a morning of high-stakes meetings, you can hop on the Shinkansen, legendary bullet train, and be in another city in less than 2 hours. Osaka to Kyoto, barely 15 minutes. Osaka to Tokyo, just over 2 hours. That means business travelers like Lena don't have to choose between work and exploration. They can do both without missing a beat. And it's not just the speed of travel. Japan's entire infrastructure supports seamless transitions between business and leisure. World-class hotels equipped with cutting-edge conference facilities stand just blocks away from historic shrines and bustling local markets. Modern co-working hubs in Tokyo Shibuya district coexist with tranquil tea houses where centuries-old rituals are preserved. This balance, ultra-modern business convenience woven into timeless cultural heritage, is what makes Japan one of the most powerful bleisure destinations in the world. It's the only place where you can close a client deal in the morning, and by evening, find yourself strolling through a bamboo forest in Arashiyama or soaking in a rejuvenating onsen beneath snow-capped mountains. For travelers like Lena, Japan wasn't just a backdrop for meetings. It was an invitation to step into experiences that awakened creativity, restored balance, and gave her work deeper clarity. Lena arrived in Osaka exhausted on Monday morning. Jet lag weighed on her, and the pressure of client meetings consumed her energy. The first day was a blur of presentations, handshakes, and endless note-taking. But by Tuesday evening, something shifted. Instead of retreating to her hotel, Lena boarded the Shinkansen and arrived in Kyoto just as the sun dipped behind temple roofs. She followed the faint sound of Buddhist chants echoing through the air, until she reached a quiet courtyard where flickering lanterns cast a warm glow. There, surrounded by history and serenity, she felt something she hadn't in months: stillness. In that silence, her mind began to clear. Ideas for her follow-up strategy suddenly flowed effortlessly. her creativity sparked by the harmony of tradition and tranquility around her. That moment became the turning point of her trip. What started as a draining work assignment transformed into an experience that not only enriched her personal life but also sharpened her professional perspective. Lena realized that Bleisure travel in Japan wasn't about squeezing in sightseeing. It was about restoring balance, fueling creativity, and walking away with both productivity and memories that last. Lena's journey wasn't just inspiring, it became a repeatable blueprint for any business traveler visiting Japan. Here's how she turned a draining work trip into a transformative experience. Time-efficient extensions. Bleisure in Japan doesn't have to mean weeks of vacation. It can be as simple as adding half a day or a weekend. Lena discovered this firsthand. From Tokyo, she booked a dawn tour to see Mount Fuji, the iconic peak rising majestically through the morning mist. By lunch, she was back on calls, refreshed and recharged. From Osaka, she took a short ride to Arashiyama's bamboo forest, where towering green stalks whispered calm into her stressed mind. Just an evening stroll shifted her mood entirely. Japan's proximity of natural wonders to its business hubs means you can expand your trip without sacrificing work time, accommodation that works. Lena quickly learned that where you stay shapes the Bleisure experience. For Zen immersion, she checked into a ryokan with an onsen, trading fluorescent hotel lights for warm mineral baths beneath the stars. When work demanded focus, properties like Amen Tokyo and Mandarin Oriental gave her quiet co-working spaces, lightning-fast Wi-Fi, and wellness amenities, all in one. These stays weren't just beds for the night, they became tools for balance, blending productivity with peace. Seamless transport. Japan's transport system became Lena's greatest ally. With the Japan Rail Pass, she moved effortlessly from skyscrapers to shrines, making even spontaneous trips stress-free. The same infrastructure that got her 2 meetings on time also whisked her to sushi counters in Tsukiji and serene temples in Nara. No lost time, it's just smoother transitions. Local culture recharge. For Lena, the real magic came after hours. She sat cross-legged at a tea ceremony, learning the art of stillness. Walked through a Zen garden where raked patterns mirrored her own search for clarity. Savored fresh sushi made before her eyes, each bite grounding her in the present. These weren't tourist activities, they were cultural resets that expanded her perspective, reignited creativity, and helped her return to work with sharper ideas, sustainable and smart. Finally, Lena realized Bleisure wasn't just good for her, it was good for the planet. By extending her trip instead of booking another flight later, she cut down on extra travel, reducing her carbon footprint. This aligns perfectly with the growing global push for sustainable, wellness-focused business travel. More companies now encourage Bleisure as a way to promote work-life balance, boost mental health, and minimize unnecessary emissions. Lena's blueprint proves that Bleisure travel in Japan isn't indulgence. It's efficiency, sustainability, and transformation rolled into one. It's putting Bleisure into practice. So how can you take Lena's blueprint and apply it to your own trip? The answer is simple. Make small, intentional shifts in how you use your downtime in Tokyo. After back-to-back meetings in gleaming boardrooms, step into a different world just outside your hotel. Stroll through neon-lit Shinjuku, where the energy of the city jolts you awake. Or slip into a stylish izakaya, sharing yakitori and sake with locals. You'll find that even 2 evening hours can flip your mood from drained to inspired. From Osaka, the options multiply. Lena hopped on a quick train to Nara, where she hand-fed the Boeing deer that roam freely near centuries-old temples. A moment of unexpected joy that still made her laugh on the flight home. Or you might take the short ride to Kyoto, where lantern-lit alleys guide you past hidden tea houses and serene shrines, offering a gentle reminder to slow down. The power of one extra night. Lena only added 1 spare night to her itinerary. At first it seemed trivial, just 1 missed dinner, 1 rescheduled flight. But that night gave her something her office couldn't: quiet reflection, deeper cultural connection, and a fresh lens for her work. That single choice, choosing presence over rushing home, transformed not just her trip, but her mindset. The hidden promise of Bleisure. Big returns from small extensions. The shift Lena experienced wasn't just measured in how she rearranged her calendar, it was something deeper. On her flight home, she leaned back in her seat, laptop closed, watching the clouds drift by. Instead of feeling drained, her mind was alive with new ideas, buzzing with clarity she hadn't felt in months. The stillness of a Kyoto temple courtyard, the laughter of bowing deer in Nara, the quiet rustle of Arashiyama's bamboo forest, these moments etched themselves into her memory, and with them came a profound sense of gratitude. Gratitude for slowing down. Gratitude for saying yes to more than meetings and deadlines. Gratitude for realizing that business travel could also be a source of renewal. She understood something powerful. Bleisure isn't about squeezing and sightseeing. It's about transforming how you experience travel altogether. Japan had taught her that culture doesn't pull you away from work. It sharpens your creativity, restores your focus, and fuels your energy. For Lena, Bleisure wasn't a distraction. It was the missing ingredient her career and well-being had been craving. So that was her lesson. Travel can do more than take you places. It can transform the way you show up at work and life and for yourself. So here's the takeaway. If you've ever wondered how to turn a routine work trip into something unforgettable, Japan is living proof of what's possible. Even 24 extra hours can make all the difference. Let the stillness of a Zen garden slow your racing thoughts. Let the taste of fresh sushi remind you to savor the moment. Let neon-lit nights in Shinjuku or quiet mornings near Mount Fuji recharge your spirit in ways no hotel conference room ever could. Because at the end of the day, Bleisure isn't just about adding leisure to business. It's about returning home more inspired, more creative, and more alive than when you left. And if you're ready to craft your own perfect balance of work and travel, I've put together something to help, the ultimate Bleisure travel guide. It is packed with tips, strategies, and destination insights to help you design trips that fuel both your career and your soul. You can grab your free copy in the link below. Thanks for joining me on this journey through Japan where business meets leisure. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss more Bleisure strategies and travel inspiration. Until next time, keep working smart, keep exploring, and keep living the Bleisure lifestyle.